Hi bestie, how are ya? Welcome back to another Bookmas video. In today's video, I am going to be sharing my TBR Knockout Reading Challenge. Oh my God, bestie, I cannot believe that it's already that time of year where the new year is literally just a few days away. Literally. It's that time of year where you are like probably planning out the books you want to read next year, starting a new reading journal, setting new reading goals, and looking forward to new yearly reading challenges. I'm excited for all those things I mentioned, especially the part where you're setting up the books you want to read and the yearly challenges. And speaking of yearly challenges, that is what I'm going to be talking with you about today. Bestie, this is year 3 of my TBR Knockout Challenge. I cannot believe that it's been 3 years of me doing this challenge with you. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the challenge, sharing the books that I read in 2023, the books I didn't read for this challenge, and sharing the books that I'm looking forward to reading next year while setting this challenge up. If you're new here and you've never heard of my challenge before, well, the TBR Knockout Challenge is basically you setting up the books that you are planning to read in 2024 and knocking them out by reading them, which is why I call it TBR Knockout. Because listen, bestie, you and I both know that a lot of times we set a certain amount of goals or books to read from our bookshelves and then it doesn't happen. That's basically what this challenge consists of. It starts on January 1st and ends on December 31st. So that's a whole year of you being able to possibly knock out some books from your TBR. For my wormies that don't have an actual bookshelf, don't worry, I got you covered. Last year, I suggested making a bookshelf on Goodreads where you can literally label it TBR Knockout 2024 and add all the books that you want to read next year onto that shelf. And there you go. I have some friends that actually did that and they still enjoyed their time doing this challenge. Just because you don't have a physical bookshelf doesn't mean that you are left behind, because no, bestie, you can do this challenge too with us. I think that just about covers what the challenge is and how you can still join. So let's start fully getting into this video. Okay, bestie, so I think that I'm going to start out with the books I didn't read, right? Like, let's knock out the negative first. In case you don't remember, my top shelf was basically like where I put all the series I wanted to read this year. And one of those series that I didn't get to read is the Dreamland Billionaire series. Yeah, that's okay, because you know what? It is what it is, right? But what I'm planning to do is roll it over for next year because I really want to read this series. It just fell through the cracks, I guess, because I don't even know what to say. But yeah, it's gonna be rolled over for next year. So I'm going to put it over here and start setting up a series pile. The next series, which is a big one that I didn't get to read, is the Dark Artifices series. As you can see, I even got to get Queen of Air and Darkness, because if you remember from last year, I didn't have this one. I didn't own this one. I had to put a replacement book in there, like a book holder, I guess, a space holder. Now I have it. So now I feel complete. Is that an excuse for not reading this? Not really. No. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't in the mood for it, I guess you can say. So it's gonna be rolled over for next year. Yes. Next year, I need to make sure that I read this one. I might as well take off this as I go. This way, one, it's not in the way, and two, I'm gonna clean my shelves anyway, so it's like, might as well take them off. All right, now it's gonna be easier for me to grab these books. Okay. Surprise, surprise. I don't even know what this series is called, but it's The Bar to You, Reflected in You, and Entwined with You by Sylvia Day. It's not read. However, is it gonna be rolled over? Now that I see it, it's like there's a part of me that's tempted to just be like, fuck it, I'm rolling this over, I'm putting it. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that this year. I don't want to put so many series up on this shelf, and then as you see, I barely read any series. I am not rolling this over. I can't. And besides, I think there's like 2 more books in this series, even though I'm not gonna purchase the books until I for sure know that I like this series. Oh, I just remembered, I think it's called the Crossfire or something like that series. Yeah, anyways, that was besides the point. But yeah, this is just it's not coming with me to 2024. Well, it is still, I'm still gonna own it, but you know what I mean, bestie. This was actually a new series that I got, and I just decided, hey, I'm adding it to my TBR. That was pretty dumb of me. That's why, like, there's some series that if you want to check out the previous video from last year, this video right here, I don't know if I'm gonna say I'll link it down below because most of the time I forget anyways, but yeah. This is a new series that I got, and I decided to just add it there, and as you see, it wasn't read. Am I going to roll it over? I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile. Then I have the Never After series, and I don't know what possessed me to decide to add like a 5-book series. I am not rolling these over. There's only gonna be 1 book from this series that I'm planning to read, but yeah, not the full thing, no. Okay, and then I have this manga. As you can see, they're still in the plastic wrap, so obviously I didn't get to read it. Will I try to read it next year? Yeah, I'm still going to add it to my shelf, but it's going to be one of those things where if I need like a palate cleanser, or if I feel myself getting into a reading slump, or if I need something quick to read for like a readathon or a challenge that I'm doing, I'll have this handy. Then there's the Original Sinner series that I really wanted to read this year, and it didn't happen. Listen, bestie, there's a lot of series that I just didn't read. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't too much in the mood for series, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know if I want to roll this over. I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile. Then there's The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is from the Mistborn series, and this is book 3. I was really hoping to read this one this year, but apparently it didn't happen.
It was great, and apparently I've never been on live television before.
Am I going to try to read it next year? Absolutely. So we're gonna put it in that pile. Surprise, surprise, we have Vicious and Vengeful on here still. I was so excited to read this one this year, and I don't know what happened. Apparently it went out the window. You see, it didn't get read. However, this is one that I am definitely rolling over for next year. Then there is the Knock 'Em Out trilogy. And yeah, I didn't get to read the 2nd or the 3rd book. I actually forgot to include this for next year because I really want to read it. I guess it'll go in the maybe pile because, you know, like once I have all the books up, it'll tell me a little bit more if I can add something else. I'm not too sure what my reading goal is going to be yet. I'm thinking it's going to be 100 books because so far I read 80 books. And that surpassed my reading goal of 75. I mean, it just passed it by 5, but you know, that's still good, okay? Listen. So I feel like I want to do like 100 books for next year, but if I don't, it'll probably be like 85, 90, maybe. I guess when I do my reading goals video, for sure I'll have my set goals set. So make sure you look out for that video. Oh my god, I feel so bad for this series because I don't know if you remember, bestie, but I was talking so much about how I feel bad for this book because, you know, it got some water damage and how I definitely had to show it love, but I lied, okay? I lied.
Cling, cling, cling. Man, you capping. Ooh, cling, 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 cling. Oh, you capping.
Yeah, I was capping. But I was hoping to read this so like that I could know if I should get the third book. Man, I'm so tempted. You know what? It's going in the maybe pile. The maybe pile is like, it already has quite a few books there. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Because there's more of a maybe pile than there is of the ones that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not reading this next year. All right, so that is all the series that I didn't get to read. Now let's go into the books. All right, so The Push, didn't get to read it, definitely rolling over for next year. Oh man, I forgot about this book. Oh no. We don't need damaging of the books. We don't need any of that. There we go. All right, so White Lines, I totally forgot about this book. I really wanted to read it. So I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. Before We Were Strangers is one that I just added because I got it and I was like, yes, I was hyped. I think it's Larry Reed's highly recommends this. So I was like, yes, immediately yes. And look, it was immediately no, I didn't read it. And it's not getting rolled over. Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates, maybe pile. Then there was You by Claire Contreras. It's a no for me. Beautifully Broken Pieces, didn't happen. Jordan's Shadow, didn't happen. A Lot Like Adios, didn't happen. This one was a new one that I was like, yes, I'm reading it. And look, I don't even know why I did that because I didn't read it. And none of these are getting added for next year. All the Ugly and Wonderful Things, didn't happen. Yes, it's getting rolled over. I actually spoke about that one in an upcoming video, so be on the lookout. It's the end of the year book tag. Just Like Mother is actually a book that I recently got around the fall time and it's still here. I added it for nothing and I don't think I'm going to add this for next year. I'm like, if it's a new book, I'm trying to read more of my older stuff than my newer stuff. So even though there is still a lot of new stuff that I got in 2023 on here, but I kind of, you know, did a balance of things. And The Bride Test didn't get read. This is getting rolled over. The Kite Runner, rollover. The Prophets, rollover. This is another one that I mentioned in that same video, so be on the lookout. The Lost Apothecary. This was one that I added at the last minute for another yearly challenge and it didn't get read anyways. Then there's Hidden Pictures. One of Us is Dead is another example of a new book that I added. I don't know what possessed me to add so many Lucy Score books, but I think it was because I was excited after reading Things We Never Got Over. So I was like, yes, I'm adding this, but I am not reading this next year, no. The Consequence of Loving Me, I totally forgot about this one because I read another book by Kate. Why I keep saying Kate? It's Pat Singleton. And I absolutely loved it. So I don't know. This is gonna go on my maybe shelf because now that I'm looking at it again, I'm like, I do want to read more by this author. So maybe. The Unraveling of Cassidy Jump. I'm thinking of Daisy Jones. You see, I think about that book a lot. The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes, Sex, Love, and Repeats, A Flicker in the Dark. Okay, last few books that I didn't read is Possessive, Darling Rose Gold, The Wall Winnipeg and Me. I am reading this because it's part of my winter challenge. If you have not seen that video, it's another challenge because I also do seasonal challenges as well, which are so much fun too. So yeah, that's my winter reading challenge. It has some prompts from my yearly challenge as well. Yes, I have all these challenges. I'm crazy. Here's what both of those challenges look like, so you can check them out when you have a chance and join us. Back to this. So this is definitely being rolled over because I am excited for this. And look at how cute this cover is. I mean, come on. How can you turn her down? And besides, I really want to try a Mariana Zapata book. So yeah, a lot of the romance booktubers that I enjoy watching, they highly recommend her book. So it's definitely going rollover. Okay, so now let's talk about the books that I actually read. But there are some books that were ARCs, also other books that I read that I don't own. We're just gonna do the ones here on my shelf. I was able to start off the Dollenganger series, which most people will know it by the Flowers in the Attic series. And I read the next two books, which is the second and the third book. I am currently reading the fourth book because I am trying. Did I say the fourth book? The fourth book? Yes. I am trying to finish this series before the year is up, even though I have like 5 more days. There's audiobooks for it, so I'm pretty confident that I'll read it. I'm pretty confident that I will finish it. Another series that I'm excited that I got to finish is King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. So I am officially done with the Grishaverse world, unless, you know, Miss Bardugo brings out another book, because from the way that Rule of Wolves ended, I don't know if she was teasing, but I felt like there could be another book. So let's see. I didn't get to finish it last year, but I finished it this year. So I also got to read the Cat and Mouse duet. Well, I'm currently still reading Hunting Adeline. So I am hoping that I'm able to finish it before the year's over. I'm pretty far into it, but I absolutely love this duology, and I'm hooked on H.D. Carlton. So you might see another one of her books on this TBR Knockout Challenge. Remember for the Never After series that I said I did complete one? Well, that was crossed. And then for the Knock 'em Out series, I did complete Things We Never Got Over. And then there is 10 Count that I completed. I didn't get to do the second book or anything like that. It's okay. And then I have the Nevermore series, which I got to finish this one. I'm almost done with Hollow Pox, so yeah, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I'm finishing this series. However, a bestie commented on one of the videos when I shared that and said that there's actually supposed to be another book. It just hasn't been out. It keeps getting pushed back. But in my head, I've still finished it. Whenever she brings out that book, then that's a different story. But for now, it's finished. Then there's Fourth Wing. I'm actually currently reading Iron Flame, even though at one point I thought this was just going to be a duology, but then it was announced that there's going to be more books. I think it's 5 books and a TV series. So, you know, I'm mad hyped for that. But am I going to finish Iron Flame before the year is up? I highly doubt that, because that is just a book that I added. That one might get rolled over to next year, but if I am able to finish it, well, then that's it. Bestie, you will be so proud of me, because a book that I was able to finish, November 9. Yes, I finished this book on November 9. Then there's The Death of Vivek Oj, The Truth Until I Get You, The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I got to finish that this year. I'm so proud of myself as well. Come to think of it, I'm like, am I unhauling any of these? But I don't think so, because I already took out a lot of books that I was planning to unhaul. But looking at The Girl Who Drank the Moon, I'm like, do I want to unhaul that or not? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I read Beautiful Fiend by Lola King, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my god, I love this book. The Weight of Blood by Tiffany Jackson. I read Babel, yeah, whatever that one is called. Empire of the Vampire was finally finished this year. I'm so proud of myself, because this thing took me a whole like year and a half to finish. And the next one is supposed to be coming out this year. Am I gonna read it? I'm still not sure. Stephen King's Fairy Tale. I still haven't took up the stickers, but yeah, that don't matter. The point is that I read it. I read Heroine. I'm Glad My Mom Died. Kingdom of the Wicked. Oh, Kingdom of the Feared, I mean. Kingdom of the Wicked is the first one. But that's because I'm looking at the back. And then my brain was automatically like Kingdom of the Wicked. Yeah. 6 Crimson Cranes, The Maidens, and Throne of the Fallen. Comes The Blind Fury, Lock Every Door, and you best to believe that I have another Riley Sager book on this list. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, and My Dark Vanessa. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. That book died. The Wedding Crasher. I got to finally read Pretty Girls, Rewrite Our Story. This is the one that I was talking about by Kat. Yes, I said it right. Kat Singleton, that I absolutely loved, which is why I had to put the other book that I own by her for next year. I think I am going to add it, but let's see. And another book that I kept rolling over, The Fountains of Silence. It was read. Yay! I know. Thank you. Okay, so now that I got these shelves cleared up, it's time to clean them. So yeah, let's get cleaning. My handy dandy notebook. I wrote everything down. So now for this next step, I'm going to be doing two things. I'm going to be sharing the final series that I'm planning to read and the rest of the books that I'm planning to read next year. So here we go. Okay, like I stated before, I'm going to add this to read next year. Usually the way I go about this is that I'll put them in order on the shelf first and then have them all on their spine before switching them around. The Dark Artifices is definitely a series I want to read next year. Okay, so another series that I'm excited to read next year is The Daughter of No Worlds, which is the War of Lost Hearts series. And so far I have book 1 and book 2. So yeah, if I enjoy it, then I'll get the rest. I'm super stoked actually about just reading this one and starting the Crescent City series. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that the final book, I believe it's the final book, is coming out in late January. I am going to be starting this one in January. So I've been hearing that you have to read this one before you start Crescent City. So I'm not too sure about that, but if you know and you read these series, let me know in the comments down below, so like that I can make sure that then I might just have to start with this one instead. But yeah, let me know. Okay, so the next series that I'm looking to read is the Stalky Jack the Ripper series, and that's 4 books in total. Am I gonna read all 4? I mean, I don't know yet, you know, because I'm like looking at it, I'm like, well, I could probably split it up and just do 2 and 2, since I mean it does follow the same world, I believe, and the same characters. So yeah, I think I'll just leave it the way I had it planned, which is to try to read the full-blown series. So come to think about it, it's not only this one that I need space for, but I'm also gonna need a like space holder for House of Flame and Shadow, and I'm pretty sure that one is gonna be like a super thick book. I just feel like it is, because remembering Kingdom of Ash, that thing is huge, so I wouldn't be surprised if that one is gonna be huge as well. I guess, I don't know if I'm gonna put a space holder. I might leave that for last. Okay, so problem solved. I was able to like to leave a nice big gap in case if it is like a huge book. Another one that I'm planning to read next year, or shall I say a reread of this one, is the Crown of Feathers series. And I read this one like, wow, it was years ago. Okay, I think I read it when it first came out. At one point I needed this one. You see, I got it now. So now it's time to read this one. And I don't know, I'm just feeling in the mood, you know. I feel like 2024 is this series time. And then there's the Hero of Ages. I added this one because of my Getting Lit in 2024 reading challenge. If you haven't checked that video out, check it out here. I feel like by adding into that challenge, I'll feel a little bit more motivated to read this one. So let's see, and then I'll finish the series. But I am wondering if I should put it up here with the rest of the series, because it's literally just one book. And unlike Sarah J Maas. There's other books there. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put this actually with the regular standalone books. Another series, well, duology that I'm looking to try to read again next year is the Villain series, which is Vicious and Vengeful. So I'm hoping that I can get to it. But the way I have my series planned out for the whole year, I think I might. So let's see. And then last but not least would be The Darkest Shade of Magic. I am looking forward to finally reading this one and seeing why so many people love it. At the moment, I only have the second and the third book because when I purchased A Conjuring of Light, I actually thought that was the second book. And then I realized, no, it's not, girl. You got the wrong book. So yeah, I only have these two. So now let's see from my maybe pile, because so far I have like a good amount of series. I think I'm learning from last year, because last year I put so many series up there, and mind you, mid-year there was some series that I took out because I was just like, girl, you're not reading all this. And then, you know, I added some new ones that I ended up getting. So yeah. But this year I strictly like made it where it's just the top shelf. That was my goal, like just the top shelf, just a certain amount, and that's it. But let's see if I want to include anything from my maybe pile. The 3 series that I'm thinking about adding to this challenge would be Black Sunshine, the Knock 'em Out series, and the Original Sinner series. Since I have a pretty big gap there, I know that I think I'm just gonna go with just adding all of them. Again, if I read it, I read it. If I don't, I don't, and that's it. Moving on, right? The whole top shelf right now has all my series. So now I'm going to add all the rest of the books that I plan on reading. So let's go, and I'm going to show you them along the way. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding all the books in alphabetical order, but like since I don't have them alphabetical order here on the floor, I'm just like estimating where I think certain books would be based on the challenge last year. You see? It makes it so much easier. Oh, and I'm supposed to be showing you. Bessie, you didn't tell me. I was supposed to be showing you. Okay, so let's just do the ones that I have here first. I'm not sure if I'm going to read a series from B.C. Andrews, but I did add My Sweet Audrina, which is a standalone. I might use this one for a prompt on my yearly challenge, which is read a book from a decade you were born, something like that. This one was written in 1982, so you see, it's perfect. I knew that I was gonna go with a B.C. Andrews book or a Stephen King book because they're both authors that have books from the 80s and that I love, so why not? Then there's All the Ugly and Wonderful Things, which was a rollover. And then there's Without Merit, The Heart Principle, Stephen King, Christine. I'm also adding Misery, but I don't own Misery yet. I don't know if it might be a Christmas present coming or like if my family got it, so let's see. But it's definitely one that's added for next year too. Under Whispering Door by TJ Klune. The book that I decided to go with for Emily McIntyre is Scarred. I know that in one of my challenge videos, I think it was in the winter challenge if I'm not mistaken, or it could be the yearly one or both, I had Hooked, but I'm like, I don't really feel like reading that one. I was really excited about reading this one because it's like, it's not a retelling. It's a fractured fairy tale. I think that's how she calls it. Of Scar. I love The Lion King. I'm not really much of a Peter Pan fan, and Hooked is supposed to be based off of, you guessed it, Captain Hook. So I was just like, yeah. So I went with this one. And then of course, One of Us is Dead, A Flicker in the Dark, The Wall, Winnie, Peg, and Me. The Bride Test. Actually, I could put this up on the series shelf because this is a series. This is from the Kiss Quotient series, and The Bride Test is the second book, and The Heart Principle is the third book. So I am gonna put this in the series shelf because it just makes sense to do that. Half of a Yellow Sun. Of course, I had to include a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. Come on. So I included Carrie Soto Is Back. 7 Days in June. Dead of Winter. This was a book that my daughter got me because I had it on my wish list for Christmas. I'm excited for this one. I recently added this one to my list because I was like, oh shoot, I did want to read this next year. So it's A God in the Shed. Okay, so Heaven's Official Blessings. Look how beautiful this cover is. So with this one, I love seeing Throne of Pages, I think her channel is called. Yeah, Isabella. I love seeing her channel because I just love the vibes. And then I also love that she shares like manga and books like this. She's been ranting and raving about this one, so I had to buy it. Yes, I bought this one this year. I need to start sharing my hauls with you guys because I keep on forgetting to do that. So there might be a little change in my video in, you know, this upcoming year. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see like how I feel and if I like this type of book. And then there's Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. I'm adding The Hero of Ages to this shelf and Icebreaker to this shelf. Forever Never is another one I'm looking to read. Every Summer After and Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. Next little stack is Master of Salt and Bones. I was trying to include this on my shelf this year because I got it new and I was like, yes, and that didn't happen. So it's getting included now, which that's the way it should have been to begin with. Heartless Heathens, Norse Mythology, The Tiger's Daughter, and The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I hate the look of that. I can't stand when it's like this because of the mass paperback. It just looks like it's being bullied. So I'm just gonna switch that. We're gonna act like I don't know my ABCs just for the A's. Next stack is Thief by S. Macery. How beautiful this cover is. I love stuff like this. A Proposal They Can't Refuse by Natalie Kanya, and I absolutely love this cover. Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. The Devil Wears Black by L.J. Shen. My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Next up is Final Girls by Riley Sager, The Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor, Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas, The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. I have The Fury by Alex Michaelides, and I am so excited for this one. This is definitely a book I'm looking to read like next month, hopefully, because this is his newest book. And it comes out in January. Yeah, it just says January 2024. I love Alex Michaelides stuff. And thank you to Celadon Books for sending this copy my way. When I got it, I was super stoked and I was mad hyped. Then I recently decided to add The It Girl by Ruth Ware because I didn't get to read this one last year. And I really wanted to try a Ruth Ware book, so I just included this one again. Here. Almost finished with this stack. Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. The Collective by Allison Galen. The Hacienda by Isabela Cañas. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. Oh. You don't need no books getting hurt in this process. Here, because this is Hoover. Let's just put you there. Last books. The Prophets, like I said, I was adding this again. Kite Runner and The Push. Wow, I'm so proud of myself because look, Bessie, I didn't overdo it. I have so much space and so much room to add like any other books that I might buy and add them to the shelf, or any arcs that I've read, or you know, stuff like that. I'm trying not to be requesting too many arcs because I'm really trying to focus on like my books next year. So yeah, but I love the fact that I have enough room where my books could kind of like breathe and stuff. And if I add anything else, especially like the books that I don't own currently that I want to read, they're here because there's other books as well. I forgot this one. Okay. Ooh. Okay, The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornischek. Sisters Under the Rising Sun by Heather Morris, and this one is an Australian author. And Liberty by Caitlin Greenidge. Oh yeah, this is another G. Oh, G. Whew. That was a lot of work. This is the final. Oh, I have to fix this because there's a lot of space here. I'm so proud of myself, bestie. I didn't overdo it. And mind you, there was actually less books than this that I added, but then as you know, I was reminded of certain books and I just added them. So yeah. Gotta leave space. I don't know how I feel about that though. There's only like 4 books down here. I think I'm gonna end up taking something out, like roofware. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take this one out. Maybe I could take Every Summer After out. It would be great if I could just have these 2 shelves, to be honest. Like, that's what I'm trying to aim for, because I did add some books like along the way that I'm just like, I don't know if I want to read that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take out Every Summer After, because this was one that I kind of added while I was doing my winter reading challenge. So yeah, I'm gonna take this out. Oh, so I decided to just leave it because I'm like, I don't really see any other books here that I want to remove. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it as is. I'll add like other books here, so like that it fills this up, and then there'll be some kind of room going on where I'll be able to add any like extra books that I've read. The good thing is that it ends up being perfect because now I have space for some of these books that I read this year. So it's like, it worked out. And I'm so happy because for last year's TBR Knockout, I had it all the way up to here, like full of books, and it was even spilling over up to here. Yeah, I did really good. Like I think I learned my lesson from last year. So now usually what I do at this point is that I'll like end up taking a picture, or for the most part I just use like this video as some kind of reference, or my Goodreads shelf that I have that I made with these books on there. After you have all your books set up, that's when you flip them. there you have it, besties. All the books are turned to the edge. Now the challenge is ready for next year. Besides all of this and making your Goodreads bookshelf, which is why I highly encourage that you have one, you're also going to need a number generator, which you could just look it up online. And that's what's going to determine which book you read that month. So basically with the random number generator, you just generate from 1 to the amount of books that you have planned. And yeah, it chooses the number and that's the book you read. Unless you're not feeling in the mood, it's okay to switch it up and just do it again. Because trust me, I do that. If I'm not in the mood for that book, I'm not reading it. So yeah, just remember you're in control of this. You set your amount, you do it how you want, whether that's just online bookshelf or if you have a bookshelf, and you go at your own pace. That's what's lovely about these type of challenges. And bestie, I highly recommend that you join my book club, Totally Book Club. It's absolutely free, so you don't have to worry. It also has a Patreon side in case you want to support me as a small content creator. I definitely appreciate that, but no worries if you can't or you don't want to. That option is totally optional. The cool thing about joining the book club is that not only do you get to make other bookish friends, but that's where I have all my reading challenges at. And we also include other reading challenges. There's the book of the month. And yeah, it's just all around fun in there. So definitely check it out. I'll have it linked down below. So here's to a new year of fun reading together and new growth and trying out new things and new genres. I love you guys so much and have a happy and safe new year. Bye.